Good evening and welcome to Tiger Softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network presented by Taylor King Law. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Chris Gay, joined by my color analyst, Isaac Bourne. Thank you all for tuning in on this cool, nice, what day is it? Friday evening. The first game of this series, this conference series between Ouachita Baptist and the Bisons of Oklahoma Baptist. It is OBU versus OBU. But Ouachita, this game is going to be special as Oklahoma Baptist, they are number one in the conference standings. They have a 29-11 overall record, and they are 21-3 in conference play.
And Chris, one thing to look at going into this game and just this series as a whole is going to be starting pitcher for the Bison, Kaylee Jones, with a 1.82 ERA this season. She has been electric in the GAC and has been one of the top pitchers in the league so far. And but starting off at pitcher for the Tigers is going to be freshman Carly Burrow as she steps into the circle here.
Yeah, this is Burrow's 7th appearance so far this season, her 6th start. That's going to be a strike right off the bat. She has yet to record a win so far this season. She has a 4.76 ERA. Has pitched in 25 innings, has given up 38 hits, 27 runs. Almost going to be in the dirt, but she has recorded 7 strikeouts.
And Burrow stepping into the circle here is just another way that Coach Jeff Jackson is just trying to shift things around and see what works in this very young Tiger squad that has really just had a couple seasons under its belt with a lot of freshmen and sophomores popping out this season. And while there are some leading seniors that are going to leave an impact on this program, you see Burrow stepping up into the circle in the stead of other very talented pitchers on this team like Tuesday Melton and Hannah Hunter.
2-1 is the count. It's going to be fouled in front of the Tiger dugout. Well, at the plate for Oklahoma Baptist is Addie Reese. The senior has started all 38 games she's played in. Has recorded 36 hits and 23 runs, including 16 RBIs and 2 home runs so far this season. Again, this is the number 1 team in the Great American Conference, and that's going to be the first out of the inning. A nice throw and a nice pickup by Kennedy Wilkie and a connection to Lauren Lester at first. But again, the number 1 team in the Great American Conference against Ouachita Baptist, who has not had the same type of success as Oklahoma Baptist, as they're sitting bottom in the conference with a 10-31 record, 5-19 in GAC play. But we have seen in the recent weeks that Ouachita, doesn't matter who they're up against, they put up a fight.
Yeah, Chris, like you said, last weekend they went toe-to-toe with Harding, losing a thriller in that first game of the series, and then finally etching out a win in the final game of that 3-game series on Saturday evening. And so this team, like you said, this team has shown that they can compete with just about any team in the conference. They just have yet to finally pull it together, and so maybe this series is the first time that they could do that.
Well, batting now for the Bison is Sammy Green, the junior. Again, this is, of course, the number 1 team in the conference. They have a lot of different players that could be number 1s anywhere else, but they're adding to, just looking at some of their basic numbers, just incredible numbers that they put up. They have multiple players, actually 5 that have more than 35 hits on the season. All of them have well over 20 runs. Multiple home runs, all double-digit RBIs. Just a lot of success, individual success, as that's going to be a base hit right off the bat. And Green gets it started right for the Bison.
And Chris, going back to that stat where you said 5 players have over over 35 hits on the season. To put that in perspective, just one Ouachita player has hit that 35 number, and that would be Aaron Williams, the senior catcher for them. But you can just tell the talent that this Oklahoma Baptist team brings, and just at the plate and in the field. And so just a very viable squad in this conference, sitting at the top like we've talked about.
Well, it's always, some coaches don't like to do this, but throwing in your freshman pitcher against the '1 team in the conference is a bold move, but that's some great experience that she's about to get.
And also with just three full games under her belt, this is a chance to give her that experience that, a pitcher like Carly Burrow hasn't really had yet as a freshman. And with two upperclassmen pitchers, you're going to need to be able to train that younger generation, and that's what they're doing here.
Well, that's going to be a sacrifice pop there, but like I said, it was a sacrifice, and Green does advance to second. Adler heads back to the dugout.
And with that, Green will be the first player into scoring position of the day, and a hit here for Allie Ryan could surely get Green across the plate for the first run of the game.
Well, Ryan has been definitely the most valuable hitter for the Bison all season long. She is #1 in the conference with 15 home runs. She's also recorded a team-high 41 RBIs, team-high 40 hits. She's also had 25 runs. That one's going to go to Wilkie at third, and it'll be an out at first. That's going to be the third out of the inning.
Nice scoop shot by Lauren Lester there, just to be able to pick that up off the ground and get that final out of the inning.
Wasn't easy for sure. Well, we'll have the bottom of the first inning after this break.
At Taylor King Law, we understand that being injured can be a stressful and overwhelming experience.
And that's why we're here to help you every step of the way.
As your dedicated legal team, we'll stand by your side when you're being ignored.
We'll be on your side to fight for the compensation you deserve.
Don't let the insurance companies intimidate you. Let us go to work for you.
Call us today and let us help you get back on the road to recovery.
On your side, by your side. When you've been injured, we're here for you.
And welcome back to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law. Through just half an inning, the game's still scoreless, as Ouachita is going to have a chance to hit here for the first time today. It'll be Caitlin Province leading off for the Tigers. It's usually Bailey King leading off for Ouachita, but the sophomore going to have a chance to lead off in this first game of this series here today.
And you look at Province last time out on Thursday against Henderson State. She went 2 for 2 at the plate and got walked once, so she had a very successful time out. Hopefully she can carry that momentum from the last outing into this one here, as she steps up to bat for the first at bat of the game for them.
(1-0) is the count, as Kaylee Jones is pitching for the Bison.
Looks like they called that a checked swing there, so she's going to get the ball.
That's going to be a little high. That's going to be ball 2. Well, Kaylee Jones has been arguably the best pitcher in the Great American Conference. Of course, that is debatable. There have been a lot of great pitchers in this conference so far this season. But looking at some of her numbers, she has one of the best ERAs in the conference, 1.82. She's had the most wins out of any conference pitcher with 15. But she's #3 in the conference in ERA. She's #1 in the conference in a opposing batting average.
And she's showing that pitching prowess here, battling back from a 2-0 count, now making it 2-2 against Province here.
She's also #1 in innings pitched by a large margin. She's pitched in 138 innings. So they definitely have a lot of confidence in Jones. Also number 1 in strikeouts as well. That's going to be a swing and a miss and make that strikeout number 188 on the season for Kaylee Jones.
And at the rate she's been going this season, we may very well see strikeout 200 today or tomorrow, Chris.
Well, if you're a Tiger fan, you certainly hope that doesn't happen today or tomorrow. But Lauren Lester is at the plate for the Tigers.
And every time Lester steps up to the plate, I feel the need to mention she's from North Little Rock, Arkansas. The same hometown as my play-by-play analyst here.
Yep, yours truly. Well, I'll go a step further. She's also an Indian Hills Elementary alum, of which I'm an alum of as well. Go Bobcats. Lester sitting with an 0-2 count, 1 out on the board and nobody on base for Ouachita. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside. That's going to be ball 1. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be popped straight up. It won't stay fair. And it'll be on top of
That's the party deck.
That's
over
right,
there.
the party deck. It slipped my mind for a second. Yeah, the party deck, which has debuted this season.
Very close to our camera over there. Just a couple feet behind it.
That's going to be popped up into the gap, and nobody will get to it. And Lester gets things started for Ouachita, recording the hit for the Tigers. And now Aaron Williams, the product of Stuttgart, Arkansas, heading to the plate.
Lauren Lester has found that gap many times this season. She loves that right field, the shallow right field gap to get her hits off of, and there once again she finds it.
Well, I think Sydney Adler out in right field also had to deal with the sun, and of course Addie Reese trying to get up under it too, coming over from second. So I think you just had a feeling that was going to be a hit. That was a slow one, but it will be ball 1. Well, slowly but surely, Pete Langston Field is starting to fill up. That's going to be way outside. That's going to be ball 2. I have some women's basketball representatives, some football representatives.
Our very own Kendall Givens in attendance today.
Yes, he is.
Givens, a member of the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, but also a All-American running back for the football team.
And I know Isaac Greer, who had started for the Tigers at long snapper. He's also in the building. Well, I say the building. He's in the stands. And, of course, our athletic director, David Sharp, is in attendance today.
And Aaron Williams, arguably the best batter on this Ouachita team, facing a full count with 1 out here.
Lester on first, and here's the pitch, and it's a swing and a miss. Strikeout 189 for Jones on the season as Remington Adams, the star sophomore, heading to the plate for the Tigers. Adams coming out of Farmington, Arkansas, has recorded 32 hits and 12 runs, as well as 24 RBIs on the season, which leads the team as that one goes. It's about to roll. I can't tell if the camera's still on it, but there it goes. It rolls right into Langston Creek. (0-1) is the count with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And it's going to be tipped behind Adams. Counts 0-2.
She's getting pieces of it every time, and so you can tell Remington Adams is battling here, but with an 0-2 count here, she can't let a ball get past her.
Here's the pitch. And it's a swing and a miss, and that's strike 3 and out number 3. So we're going to be heading to the top of the second. Don't go anywhere. We have more Tiger softball here in just a moment.
I've heard people say, "Oh, a cheetah."
Oh, Wichita.
Achita.
Oh, a cheetah.
Is it pronounced Oakita?
Searching for Washita Baptist University.
Back in Texas, everybody pronounces it Wichita, but really, it's Washita.
Washita. Washita.
How would you pronounce it?
Washita.
Washita.
It's Washita Baptist University. Get it right.
It's Washita, people. It's Washita.
Washita.
Well, 0-0 is still the score here at Pete C. Langston Field as we enter to the top of this second. Washita and Oklahoma Baptist battling it out here in an always classic battle of the OBUs. Of course, most OBU students just refer to Oklahoma Baptist as OKBU. But regardless, both teams do say they are the OBUs. There's not a lot of true deep rivalries between Washita and the teams in the conference from Oklahoma, but this does kind of separate them a little bit. Similar with East Central, the only other team in the conference that is the Tigers. So it makes these matchups ever more unique. And that's going to be ball one. Carly Burrow pitching today for the Tigers. The freshman coming out of Paragould, Arkansas, gets the strike there. Here's the pitch. That was a slow one. In the dirt a little bit. Well, from my angle, I couldn't tell, but it was a contagious groan in the home section. 2-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. And that's over Burrow's head into center field, and it will be a base hit single this time by Morgan Max. Now up to the plate for Oklahoma Baptist is the sophomore Kennedy Clark. Clark coming out of Richmond, Texas, and out of William B. Travis High School. She makes contact straight to Lester, and she's going to get the easy out at first, but it does advance Max to second. Now at the plate for the Bison, Samantha Campos, the junior from Los Fresnos, Texas. This is her 48th at-bat on the season. And her 29th appearance on the season. She doesn't put up the same type of numbers as some of her teammates. And she's recorded 11 hits and 7 runs, but she has recorded 10 RBIs. It is not often that you see a player that really does not get a lot of hitting or batting opportunities have almost as many RBIs as they do hits, and Max is going to advance to third, as that one was a little high for Williams. So 1-2 is the count with 1 out and a runner on third. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, Williams couldn't see it, but Max stays put. Two is the count with 1 out. Here's the pitch. And it gets past Adams, and Oklahoma Baptist is going to score. So it's going to be an RBI single for Samantha Campos. So Oklahoma Baptist strikes first here in the top of the second. And here's the pitch. She'll make contact. It'll be fair, and she's not out at first. Campos advances to third, and Cassidy Morrow stays put at first.
Seemed to be just a bit of a confusion with the base runner there. Lester just was unable to get her glove on the ball after Morrow's rushing past her. Just looks like it confused her a little bit, probably got her a little bit off balance, and it was just enough to allow the runner to get to first, and then allowed Campos to get to third over there.
Ouachita had a brief visit at the mound just between the players. I imagine it is the senior Erin Williams telling her young infield to just kind of take a second, calm down. Could be a little jitters that this team is exerting right now. I mean, it is the top team in the conference.
One thing you see with this young Ouachita team, though, is you see players like seniors Lauren Lester and Erin Williams. While seniors on a very young team, they show their ability to lead this team and to bring mentorship to a team that they know is going to get better as the years go on. And so they just want to instill the right values into this team and the right habits into this team that they have players like Remington Adams and Caitlin Province that are sophomore stars up to this point.
Here's the pitch. That's going to be a little high. Williams can't hold on. And Morrow's going to advance to second. So 2-1 is the count with one out and runners on third and second. That's Morrow on second and Campos on third. Here's the pitch. She'll make contact. Burrow up under it. And they're going to get, very close, but she will be safe at first. Campos stayed put at third, so bases are loaded now. As Coach Jackson's going to have a conversation with this young pitcher. We'll stay right here, though, but bases are loaded as we head back to the top of the order for the Bison. Addie Reese will be hitting.
And Reese has shown her hitting prowess as well with 2 home runs on the season. She can hit it. She can hit them deep at some points. And what a time for them to hit it deep would be right now with the bases loaded. And I'm sure the Tigers are discussing that here in this huddle just to prevent a big play here and just to try to get out of this inning so that they can put themselves into scoring position.
Reese grounded out earlier in the first inning for the Bison. But Reese, the 5th-year senior from Whitewater, Kansas, and a transfer from Murray State College.
Excuse me, that's Murray State University.
Yep. There are 2 Murray State.
Oh, excuse me, sorry about that. I'm from Murray, Kentucky, which is
Murray State,
home of Murray State University.
Yep.
I did not know about Murray State College.
Yep, Murray State College. It's a smaller university. Yep, they are a 2-year school out of Tishomingo, Oklahoma. I hope I said that town name right. But yes, different state. That's going to be popped straight into the air. It's a long one. She gets up under it. Runners advancing, and they do send one home. That's Campos that finds her way home. Despite the out by Ouachita.
I will say great damage control by Province out there in center field to get the ball quickly to her infield so that they only allow 1 run instead of even maybe 2 or maybe even 3 off what was a pretty deep hit into the back of the outfield. Very close to that outfield wall.
It was definitely not an easy catch into the sun, which is, of course, setting right behind us. That's going to be popped into the right field gap. They're going to send another one home, and 2 more hit home for Oklahoma Baptist. And now this ball game suddenly goes from 2-0 to 4-0, just like that.
And out there in right field, Jordan Merritt could do nothing to prevent those 2 runs there. She fielded it. She fielded it just right, and she threw it in just right. But just the speed of those Oklahoma Baptist base runners were able to get them 2 more runs, giving them a 4-point cushion here with still an out to go in this inning.
Here's Burrows' pitch. That's going to be high. And again, more advancing by Oklahoma Baptist. That time, it's Sammy Green taking advantage and heading to second. So now batting, well, still batting for Oklahoma Baptist is the shortstop, Emily Adler. Adler is a 5th-year senior from Rose Hill, Kansas, and a transfer from Butler Community College. Adler has been one of those major impact players for the Bison, as that goes right to Adams at short, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. So Ouachita escapes the inning, but not before allowing 3 runs. So we're going to head into the the bottom of the 2nd here after this break. Don't go anywhere.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
And welcome back to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law. Ouachita is going to be hitting here, as it's going to be Bailey King that's going to lead off the inning for Ouachita.
And as we look over to the baseball team, they're playing against Oklahoma Baptist as well, but they're in Bethany right now, playing on the road. In Shawnee, Oklahoma, not Bethany. And excuse me, I was confusing them with Southern Nazarene's hometown. But right now they're in the bottom of the 8th inning, and this is looking like a slugfest for that game. Ouachita leading 18-12 in that game, and they scored 10 runs. Yes, you heard that right, 10 runs in the top of the 1st inning.
Top of the 1st? Oh,
yes,
my goodness.
To start the game off. And Oklahoma Baptist had 3 in the 1st, 4 in the 2nd, and 3 in the 3rd.
What a play by Bailey King. The bunt works to perfection.
And so while Ouachita works to get themselves on the board here at P.T. Langston Field in Arkadelphia, on the road in Shawnee, the Tigers have gotten themselves on the board a couple times, maybe 18 times actually. So 2 very vastly different types of games, but just as interesting nonetheless.
Well, Jordan Merritt heading to the plate for the Tigers. Merritt, a freshman. This is her 56th at-bat on the year. She's recorded 15 hits, 2 runs, 7 RBIs. That one's popped straight up, and that's out towards Elrod Boulevard.
Barely missing our cameraman just to our right, Jalen Davis. Shout out to Jalen for trying to protect the camera before himself, as Chris Babb always tells our cameramen to do.
Well, if he could hear you, I bet he would appreciate that. That one's going to be fouled again behind her. 0-2 is still the count.
And a bit of a correction. The score is 16-12 in Shawnee, not 18-12 for the baseball team.
That's a football score at that point, and that's strike number 3. That's going to be the first out of the inning. So Riley Gillis heading to the plate for Ouachita. This is only her 39th, or excuse me, her 43rd at bat on the year. Has not played a whole lot so far this season. Gillis is a sophomore from Sheridan, Arkansas, which is not too far down the road from Arkadelphia. Here's the pitch. A swing and a miss by Gillis, a little off balance too. So 0-2 is the count. Well, in Ouachita's last game at Henderson State, Gillis did play and she did record a hit, which was just her 7th hit on the season. 1-2 is the count with 1 out and 1 runner on base. That's Bailey King at first. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside again. That's going to be ball 2. Here's the pitch. Oh, what a grab out in third. Oh, she's out. What a play. What a sequence by Oklahoma Baptist. The double play, the end the inning. What a grab by Allie Ryan at third and a great throw to Kennedy Clark at first. So Ouachita heading out into the field. Let's see if Oklahoma Baptist can add to their lead or not. You're watching Tiger Softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
4-0 game here at Pizzi Langston Field, and unfortunately not in the favor of Ouachita Baptist, but in favor of the other OBU team, that being Oklahoma Baptist. Making the trip down here from Shawnee, Oklahoma, and as we mentioned before the break, Ouachita's baseball team is playing in Shawnee against Oklahoma Baptist, and they're having a bit more success against the Bison than the softball team here this evening, as 16-12 last time we checked. And that certainly sounds like a first half football score. As that one's going to be popped, it will not stay fair. But right away, Allie Ryan swinging at the first pitch she sees to start the third inning.
And Allie Ryan coming off a GAC Player of the Week, being named GAC Player of the Week. She had an electric series last weekend at against Southwestern Oklahoma State, where she had 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, and a 556 batting average in that series alone. Just a great season overall as she flies out there to Wilkie at third base.
That was a great grab by Wilkie. She just had to absorb the hit with her body. She comes away with the out. Well, Kennedy Wilkie was not starting the season at third for Ouachita. It was Remington Adams. Then Adams gets moved to shortstop, and Wilkie promoted to third, and she's done an excellent job for Coach Jackson's young team. Wilkie, being a sophomore out of Siloam Springs, Arkansas, has been one of the Tigers' better fielders and has shown it several times this evening. So 2-0 is the count with Morgan Max at the plate. Here's the pitch. Right down the middle, and that's going to be strike number 1.
And back to Wilkie, if you ever see the Oklahoma Baptist players start to bunt, you'll watch Wilkie start to creep up a little bit because she's been one of the best players this season at grabbing those bunts and still being able to throw those batters out at first.
Here's the pitch. That's going to be popped into center field, up against the top of the wall. And that's just going to be a single by Morgan Max. That was awfully close to being a home run right there. But luckily for the Tigers, it just hit the white little line in that center field wall. And frankly, if the Tigers are lucky, that only ended up being a single. Here's the pitch.
And Chris, going back to that hit here at P.T. Langston Field, the Tigers, or the Bison, fall victim to a little bit of a green monster situation as it barely, like you said, barely stays fair or stays in the infield.
Now that one will be hit in between the left field gap, or left field and center field gap, and that'll be another base hit, this time by Kennedy Clark. And now Samantha Campos, who found her way home the last time out, she's going to be at the plate, but Coach Jackson, yep, he's bringing in somebody new. That's going to be not Cody Batchelor. It's going to be Maggie Huddleston coming in to pitch for the Tigers. Oh, wait a second. Coach Jackson, he hadn't had a conversation with the home plate umpire yet. He has to do that before the official substitution, before Huddleston can come out there. And, yep, now she can. Well, while Huddleston warms up, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching Tiger Softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law.
I'm Sandra, this is Jorge, and we were adopted in 2019. I remember when they first came to us, Michael was already a teenager. The whole cliche of they're so lucky to have you guys, and it's the other way around. They have changed our family for the better. They chose to love us. They didn't have to. They chose us. Family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Well, Ouachita trailing 4-0 here at the top of the third. 1 out on the board. Runners on first and second, and the Tigers bring in a new pitcher, that being Maggie Huddleston, the senior out of Bee Branch, Arkansas. Her first pitch is in the dirt. That's going to be ball 1. But Huddleston, one of the few veteran and upper-class women pitchers for the Tigers. Her and Hannah Hunter are the only 2 senior pitchers on the roster.
And just because Burrow was taken out, the softball with a unique rule that's just exclusive to softball. Burrow, this could still not be the last time you've seen Burrow today, with the rule that you are still able to put back in pitchers after they've been taken out. But it will all depend on Huddleston's success here, and if she can bring the Tigers back in this one and hold down the fort here on defense.
Now, Huddleston so far this year has pitched in 32 innings. She's been used a little bit more than last season at the plate. Batting for Ouachita, that's going to be strike number 2. But she's given up 23 runs, 40 hits. She has a 3.9 ERA, but she has recorded 12 strikeouts on the season, has a 2-2 win-loss record. That's going to be straight up in the air, and that's going to be out number 2. And Wilkie gets up under it. So Oklahoma Baptist only advances 1 runner there, that being Max. heading from second to third. Clark stays put at first and now batting for the Bison.
And Chris, a bit of an update in Shawnee, Oklahoma for the Oklahoma Baptist series for the baseball team. Oklahoma Baptist has scored 2 more runs since we last talked, and now it's 16-14 going into the top of the 9th inning with the top of the order coming up for the Tigers. It's going to be an electric finish in Shawnee, which is the score 16-14 is something you don't see very often in a baseball game.
That's a high-scoring affair, and either not a lot of defense is being played or the hitting has been spectacular. I think it's mostly the latter.
And the Tigers, the baseball team does have some very good hitters with players like Mikey Gonzalez and G. Allen.
And that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. So Ouachita gets away with that inning, not allowing a run. So they may be stopping the bleeding here. Let's see what they can do at the plate. You're watching Tiger Softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
Whether you realize it or not, you see the work of bats and signs all around Arkadelphia. When you see the Badger equipment trailer on the way to a Badger game, Bats and Signs did that. When you're watching the Badgers, Tigers, or Reddies and see the signage that just really makes their facilities pop, Bats and Signs did that too. You see the signage in downtown Arkadelphia, on the campuses of Ouachita and Henderson, or the sign in your neighbor's yard supporting a candidate or their favorite Badger? Yep, Bats and Sign did that too. Longtime residents and supporters of all things Arkadelphia called Mark, Jared, Chris, or Ryan at Bats and Signs today to see what they can do for you.
Oklahoma Baptist still has a 4-0 lead over the hometown Tigers as we enter the bottom of the 3rd here at Pete Z. Langston Field. For Ouachita, still haven't made it all the way through the batting order as Emily Reed, the freshman, is going to be making her 39th appearance at the plate this season. Reed has definitely had her moments, comes in to run every once in a while, but she's recorded 8 hits, 7 runs, 2 RBIs on the season, and 3 of her 8 hits have been doubles. So she is definitely a threat to make a big play right off the bat.
And Reed comes in as one of 3 freshmen in this starting lineup for the Tigers, just showing their youth again. One of 3 freshmen and then one of 6 underclassmen with 3 more sophomores as well in this lineup.
Adds a bunt, goes straight up and back. A lucky fan almost got a souvenir. Of course, you can't take the balls home with you. But not often do you see a bunt attempt go straight up and back. The 0-2 is the count. That's going to be high and outside. That's going to be ball 1. Here's the pitch. That's going to be popped straight up, and let's see who gets it. That's going to be Annie Reese coming over from second, getting the first out of the 3rd inning for Oklahoma Baptist. And Kennedy Wilkie at the bottom of the batting order for the Tigers, set to hit it here. Wilkie has really improved this season, playing primarily 3rd base. But looking at what she's done at the plate, this is her 61st appearance. Batting for Ouachita, has recorded 11 hits, 6 runs, and 7 RBIs.
She powers that one into right field, into the right side.
Yeah, she's got power on that swing. And Ouachita would definitely love to get a base hit here. 2-1 is the count with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Wilkie. That's going to be strike number 2 here.
Looks to me like the Bison infield thought that was a strikeout.
Yep, and the third base umpire is going to come over and talk with the home plate umpire. It showed on the board before that strike that there was just one strike on the board. Still shows on the live stats at OBUtigers.com that is just the second strike.
And a strikeout here for Jones would be number 5 in the game, which would put her at 192 on the season, which is just an incredibly impressive stat at this point in the year for the senior.
Yep, so 2 balls, 2 strikes here. So they do clarify it before we get back underway. Actually, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And there's still a conversation. Third plate umpire coming over to talk to Kaylee Jones. So full count for Kennedy Wilkie here. 1 out on the board. And here's the pitch. And she makes contact.
In a battle against a pitcher like Jones, Kennedy Wilkie is going to stay in there, and with fouling off shots like that is exactly what's going to keep her in this battle.
Here's the pitch. A swing and a miss by Wilkie. That's strikeout number 6 on the evening for Kaylee Jones. And now we're back to the top of the order for the Tigers, Caitlin Province, who struck out in her last at-bat. Let's see if she can turn the tide. Here's the pitch. She makes contact, and it's fouled behind her. Province is a sophomore from Cave City, Arkansas. Here's the pitch. Again, fouled behind her to the left of me, and doesn't quite make it to Elrod Boulevard.
But it's going to go right past those new trees being planted on Elrod Boulevard.
That's exactly right, in an effort to spruce up the campus. One-two is the count with 2 outs and nobody on base for Ouachita. Here's Jones's pitch, and that's going to be outside. That's going to be ball 2.
Just a veteran move by Province to not swing at that, especially with 2 strikes. That's barely outside, but she's able to see that it's going to be a ball, and she's going to keep her in here for just a little bit longer.
Well, it is always interesting when you call a sophomore a veteran, but that is exactly the truth. And that's going to be strike number 3 and out number 3. So Ouachita heading back out into the field, and we'll see if Oklahoma Baptist can keep adding to their score. You're watching Tiger Softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
Baseball for me just kind of was the glue that kept my family together. I feel like I was able to come here and get my triple major, as well as play a super high level of baseball against some of the best players in the country. There's a lot of options here in Division II with a lot of great ball players and a lot of great people, and they make sure that they give you every opportunity to succeed on and off the field.
And welcome back to Tiger Softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law. Ouachita still trailing 4-0 as we enter the top of the 4th here at Pete Z. Langston Field. It is the battle of the OBUs. Of course, Ouachita Baptist battling the only other Baptist institution here in the Great American Conference, in Oklahoma Baptist. But looking at these two teams in their recent history in the last 8 years. Oklahoma Baptist has the edge on the series history with 14 wins and only 13 losses, but Oklahoma Baptist has lost the last 6 games. Or excuse me, Ouachita Baptist was. Again, the OBUs are sometimes a little confusing, but OBU has lost the last 6 games against the Bison. And that's going to be an easy first out of the inning for Ouachita. That was Gillis scooping it up and coming away with the assist, with Lester making the out at first. But the last win that Ouachita had over Oklahoma Baptist was in Shawnee, and Oklahoma Baptist lost in 6 innings, and Ouachita recorded 17 runs in that ball game. But these two teams, of course, and a lot of recent history against each other, but Ouachita has not had a series victory against the Bison since 2019. So Oklahoma Baptist has definitely had their number within the last 5 years, but what makes that drought for Ouachita that much more interesting is one of the players on Ouachita's roster that last time in 2019 when they got the series victory over Oklahoma Baptist, one of the players was Natalie Jackson. Natalie Jackson is the daughter of Jeff Jackson, who is the first-year head coach here at Ouachita. And that pitch is going to make contact, and Addie Reese is going to head to first. But again, it's been a long time since Ouachita has had that much success against the Bison. They would love to make it turn a new page in history tonight, or definitely within this series, as they will play 2 games tomorrow, with the first game at noon and the second game at 2 o'clock.
And looking into the Bison's success this season, though, specifically when it comes to series, they've won 16 straight. Yes, you heard that right. 16 straight series, consecutive conference series, which is the longest in school history. And another series win here would just add to that total. And it just has been an incredible season for the Bison, as they are at the top of the GAC going into this part of the season, and they're hoping to be able to continue that success into the postseason.
Of course, there are still 3 innings, at least 3 innings left in this ball game, so we definitely don't want to assume that anybody's going to win. We would love to assume that this game is going to tighten up and get even more exciting. 0-1 is the count, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Williams did her best to frame it up, but won't convince the home plate umpire. That's going to be ball 1. Emily Adler, the sister of Sydney Adler, also on this Bison team. Both players natives of Rose Hill, Kansas, graduates of Rose Hill High School, and both attended and transferred from Butler Community College. As this one goes to Gillis, possibly a double play won't occur, but Ouachita will get the out at second. So that's going to be the second out of the inning. But Oklahoma Baptist still has runners on first and third.
And one thing to watch with Adler on that first base path, she's 15 for 17 on stolen base attempts this season. So she's going to be looking for that second base to grab and take second base away, and to put herself in scoring position as well.
Here's a pitch. That's going to be ball 1. Oklahoma Baptist does have 2 of their better base runners. Adler like you mentioned, 15 of 17 when it comes to stealing bases. And Addie Reese, who's at third, she's 6 of 6, and we don't often see players steal home, but there's always a chance that could potentially happen. Here's Huddleston's pitch. Swing and a miss by Allie Ryan. Ryan has been one of the better players this season for Oklahoma Baptist and Coach Maple's crew.
And with that strikeout, that's going to be Huddleston's first of the game and the first of the game in general for the Tigers.
And that's going to be a run given up. So the score is now 5-0 in favor of the visiting Oklahoma Baptist Bison. And Aaron Williams trying to get the out at second. That was Adler stealing second and then making her way to third.
Just a bit of confusion at that second base just on who was going to grab that, and then
that's going to be popped straight up, and that will be the third out of the inning. This time by Kaylin Province, coming up with the out in center field. So Ouachita will have a chance to hit. Let's see what they can do. Try to add to try to break their scoring drought in this game. You're watching Tiger Softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
I'm Rex Horn, the Interim Executive Director of the Arkansas Baptist State Convention, and today I'm joined by my friend Dylan, who is an attorney with the Arkansas Baptist Foundation, with an important word for you.
The foundation is here to help you support your Ouachita Tigers. If you'd like to create an estate plan that supports Ouachita and its mission, or learn about other giving opportunities, please contact us using the information below.
At Berry & Turnage, we specialize in bringing the law to your corner. We are dedicated to understanding what results you want and to helping you understand what actions we can take on your behalf. With over 30 years of experience and a proven track record of success, Berry & Turnage is here to lead you down a path to the results you need. We will work with you every step of the way to make sure that you understand the choices you are making and feel empowered to make them. Berry & Turnage. Serious injuries require serious attorneys.
First baseman, Lauren Lester.
Ouachita Baptist University. But Oklahoma Baptist jumped out to this massive lead early, recording 4 runs in the top of the second, and then recorded 1 more in the fourth. And we have a score update, the final score update for Ouachita baseball. So Ouachita holds on for a 14-15 win in Game 1 of the series. Excuse me, I misread that. 16-15 win. You would think I'd be able to read numbers, but a 16-15 win in enemy territory, that's a fairly low-scoring football score.
Hey, but that's a high-scoring baseball score.
Yes, it is. That is definitely right, but the Bisons led off the ninth with a home run and then had bases loaded with 2 outs, and guess who struck out the last batter? It was Chase Oberle, saving the day for the Tigers. It was definitely a close one, but it was definitely a much-needed win for Ouachita. Of course, it's just Game 1 of a 3-games conference series.
And the Tigers in baseball sitting at the top of the GAC, towards the top of the GAC. Just a big win in enemy territory for that team to add to their record and their conference record at this point in the season. It is just a vital win, and another win tomorrow would put them in the win column in the series as well, and that would be big for them as well.
Aaron Williams at the plate for Ouachita. Here's the pitch, and she pops that into left field. Is that gone? No, it won't be. She can't come away with the grab. That's over the head. She's going to stay put at second. And right away, the double for Aaron Williams. Make that double number 9 on the year. She leads the team in that category, and make that hit number 44 for Aaron Williams.
And that's just the third hit of the game for the Tigers, but hopefully that could put them back on track in this game and maybe try to find a chink in the armor of star pitcher Kaylee Jones.
Remington Adams is one of the players to find it. As she's at the plate with a 1-0 count. It's a swing and a miss for strike one. Carly Jones has definitely had a great start. Excuse me, Kaylee Jones has had a great start for the Bison today. He's only allowed 3 hits, 0 runs, and 6 strikeouts. Has also forced 3 flyouts. And it's a swing and a miss, and strike 3 for Remington Adams. She's heading back to the dugout, and Bailey King is coming up to bat for Ouachita. King, been one of the best players offensively this season, especially out of this massive freshman class for Coach Jackson. It's a swing and a miss.
One thing about Bailey King that you're going to need to watch, if she can get on base here, she will be dangerous in the base pass. She has shown her speed, stealing 7 of 8 bases this season, and being the best base runner for this Tiger team so far. Just as a freshman too, Chris.
Yep, she's recorded 28 hits, 20 runs, and 4 RBIs on the year. That one's going to be fouled off to the left of us. The King has recorded 1 of the 3 Ouachita hits today. And now she sits with a 1-2 count and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And she makes contact and goes right by Ouachita's dugout.
See the players ducking there for cover because she barely, just a little bit, if that ball would have curved just a little bit more to the right, it would have been right inside of Ouachita's dugout.
Well, the lights have come on at Pete Langston Field. And it's a swing and a miss for Bailey King. And that's going to be strike number 3 and out number 3 of the inning. We're going to be heading into the top of the 5th. Do not go anywhere. We have more Tiger Softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network presented by Taylor King Law.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
Oklahoma Baptist with a 5-0 lead as we head into the top of the 5th.
And Chris, going back to that last inning, you saw Kaylee Jones record her 8th strikeout of the game, which is just a miraculous number, putting her just 5 strikeouts in this game away from hitting 200. Chris, I was talking to you before, like they're saying that there was no way that she would get to 200 on the night, but I guess she heard me because she's getting really close to that number already.
Yep, you're exactly right. Kaylee Jones has definitely made her mark on this ball game, but we'll see if Maggie Huddleston can do the same. But for Ouachita, here's the pitch. That's going to be strike number 1. With Morgan Max at the plate.
One thing unique to Pete Langston Field that the baseball field, Rab Rogers Field, does not have is these lights that you see above the field. Rab Rogers Field with no lights, so they don't typically play games that go into the darkness of night. But here, as you see the sun setting, the lights coming on here at P.T. Langston Field, which is something that these players love to experience. You love to play under the lights in a baseball game, and here they are today doing that.
We've been a part of multiple 10-inning games here at P.T. Langston Field, and that would only happen because of these lights and, of course, Ouachita's ability to hang on for at least 10 innings. Here's the pitch. That's going to be popped straight up into center field, and that's going to be an easy out by Caitlin Province. Make it out number 2 of the inning.
Caitlin Province, yet again, coming to the rescue for the Tigers today. They've called her name a lot out in center field today. She's had herself a good number of putouts out there, but she's been able to get it done so far.
Well, Samantha Campos at the plate for the Bison. She's had a solid day. She's recorded a run, a hit, and an RBI.
Excuse me, that was Province's 4th putout on the day with that catch there.
Trying to get that pitch to bounce, and of course that's going to be ball 1. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a foul tip, and that's going to be strike number 2. So 1-2 is the count with 2 outs. Nobody on base for the Bison. Here's the pitch. That's going to be popped up, and that should land. Yes, it will, right into Langston Creek. One-two, still the count, and here's the pitch. And again, that's going to be fouled right behind the Bison dugout.
And yet again, it's going to find its way to Langston Creek. The Bison have loved to hit foul balls out that way, and that's number 2 into Langston Creek in just this at-bat alone.
Here's the pitch. That's going to be popped up, and that'll be an easy out by Riley Gillis. And that will be the 3rd out of the inning. Ouachita, let's see what they can do hitting here as we head into the bottom of the 5th inning here at Langston Field. You're watching Tiger Softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
On the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law. Your score is still 5-0 as we are nearly through 5 innings. Jordan Merritt is going to lead off the inning for Ouachita. Merritt, the freshman from Wiley, Texas. Merritt didn't do a whole lot in her last at-bat, so 0 of 1 today. But Kaylee Jones has just been on fire pitching for Oklahoma Baptist. Ouachita, their fielding and their pitching has cleaned up a little bit. since the second inning. That's straight up. That will be into the Bison dugout. But the pitching for Oklahoma Baptist has been so consistent all night long. Jones, this is set to be her 58th pitch. She's forced 3 flyouts, has had 8 strikeouts, and has only allowed 3 hits. And of course, no runs on the board through 4 innings for Ouachita. But frankly, that's not all that surprising, as she has been one of the best pitchers in the Great American Conference. That's rocketed, but that will not be fair. It was close, but no cigar for Jordan Merritt.
She gets her bat on that just a little bit, at a little bit different time, and that is out of the park here for the first home run of the day.
Well, it would be. And that takes a nice bounce into Langston Creek. I know Merritt would have loved if that previous pitch had stayed fair, as that would have been home run number 1 of her college career. Here's the pitch. That was a slow one and in the dirt. That's going to be ball number 2.
Looks like she was trying to get Merritt to bite on that one, but the freshman, with a veteran move, not doing that.
Here's the pitch. It was a little outside. She still made contact.
And Merritt staying in here with the experienced pitcher, Kaylee Jones. 2 strikes on the board, but she's sticking to her guns in that batter's box.
Here's the pitch. Gets past Jones, and she will be safe at first. Hit number 4 for the Tigers on the evening.
And that brings Merritt to 15 on the season when it comes to her hit count. And what a pitcher to do it against, as Kaylee Jones has not allowed but 5, or this is just the 4th hitter of the game to get on base.
That's going to be outside. That's going to be ball 1. Here's the pitch. Showing bunt, gets past first. Nobody's covering first. And back-to-back hits for Ouachita. This time courtesy of Riley Gillis.
And a miscue there for the Tigers, or for the Bison, excuse me, is just what the Tigers need. And now they've got a runner in scoring position over on second as Emily Reed steps up to base in a great situation for the freshman.
And now one of the Oklahoma Baptist coaches going to have a conversation with Jones in the infield. I imagine the plan is for Kaylee Jones to play this entire game. There is definitely no intention to bring her out now, as we'll look again at what she's done today. She's pitched 64 times. She's allowed only 5 hits. Of course, 2 in this inning alone. It's pitched in just about 4 innings. Has forced 3 flyouts and has struck out 8 batters. Emily Reed had a fly out in her previous at-bat. That was high. That's going to be ball 1.
Reed with just 8 hits on the season, hoping to get number 9 here. And while Reed hasn't had too much time at the plate this season, she's getting some experience in the start today.
And that's going to be fouled towards Elrod Boulevard.
And Chris, I think it's going to make it to the Boulevard this time.
Oh, I'm sure it is, and I bet it's rolling down the hill. Yep, some fan is having to track it down. but it has become a beautiful night here in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. That bunt attempt will not pay off, but the sunset making the clouds a little bit pinkish, a little bit orangish in spots, and then of course something that I always love to hear is the sound of a distant train horn as the train tracks here in town. Can always tend to hear the train that comes by every once in a while. That's popped straight up, and that's going to be fouled again, so 1-2 is the count.
And a lot of Ouachita batters have found themselves in this position here. A low ball count with 2 strikes. And we've seen Jordan Merritt battle back from that. And now the Tigers are hoping that Reed can battle back from that as well. But with no outs on the board, they have some buffer room here.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be high again. That's going to be ball 2.
Bit of a high heater there trying to get Reed to bite. And again, the freshman is able to make a veteran move and not swing there.
Here's the pitch. Pop straight up. That is gone! Emily Reed sends that out of here! Emily Reed, home run number 1, her first home run of her college career. Wow!
Chris, did we just see that?
Yes, we did, Isaac. 5-3 is your score here at P.C. Langston Field. No outs on the board as Kennedy Wilkie is going to head to the plate for Ouachita. But congratulations, Emily Reed, the freshman from the freshman from Benton, Arkansas. Her first home run of her college career.
And Chris, it looks like she was trying to hit that all the way to Benton as far as it went there.
It was getting pretty close, and wow, just a play that Ouachita absolutely needed.
And Chris, now we've got ourselves a game, 5-3 here, no outs in the 5th inning. Reed makes it competitive here.
Exactly, that was just the 7th home run that Kaylee Jones has allowed on the year. Has been sharp for the most part tonight up until this inning. I don't want to jinx myself as Wilkie pops that into right field. That's just the first out of the inning. So knock on wood as I'm knocking on my forehead. But now Caitlin Province heading to the plate for Ouachita as we're back to the top of the order for the Tigers.
Credit the put out by right fielder Sydney Adler out there, just putting the wheels on and running out to shallow right field to grab that and get the first out of the inning for the Bison.
That's going to be strike number 1. And a little bit too low there. Campos trying to frame it. The count will be 1-1 with 1 out and nobody on base. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Province.
And here we go. We find ourselves right where we've been many times in this game. 1-2 count as Province steps back up. Can she get herself out of this hole?
Here's the pitch. And that's going to be low outside. That will be ball 2. Two-two is the count with 1 out and nobody on base for Ouachita. Here's the pitch. Pop straight up. Won't be fair. Good hustle out in left field by Cassidy Morrow. She can't get there in time.
Morrow almost getting there, having to stop herself at the party deck because she was running out there, almost was able to grab that, but just a little bit too far from the left fielder.
Well, I think if she kept running, she would have ended up in the party deck. And that's going to be a little outside again. So that's ball 3. So just like that, we have a full count and 1 out with Province at the plate for Ouachita. The sophomore versus the senior.
And it seems like the Tigers have started to find this chink in Jones's armor.
And a swing and a miss by Province.
And just as I say that, Jones gets number 9 of the game in strikeouts. Inching very close to that 200 number on the season.
Yeah, I'm going to tell Coach Jackson that you jinxed her right there. But here's the pitch. Pop straight up, this time Lester.
Out in the direction of a little dog, out there.
I wouldn't say a little dog.
A dog, yes.
That's a big dog. I wish I knew my dog breeds. I think that's some sort of doodle or something.
It looks to me like a poodle breed, but.
And that won't stay fair. It took a nasty curve. So 0-2 is the count with 2 outs. Nobody on base for Ouachita. Lester has already recorded a hit today. He's 1 of 2 on the evening. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside. That's going to be ball 1. Here's the pitch. That's going to be popped straight up, and Campos was going for it. I don't know if she could exactly see it, because I think that could have been the 3rd out of the inning.
Lester gets lucky there, because if Campos would have been able to get her eyes on that one, it could have been out number 3 of the inning. But although she didn't, she still sits at a 1-2 count. Very familiar situation.
And that's going to be fouled behind the Bison bullpen, and the dog sees the ball, and the dog's got a new toy.
It's going to be really hard to grab that one out on the right side of the field.
Yep, Jenna Austin is making her way to try to bargain with the dog. Oh well, and she'll get the ball back. The dog not going to be happy. She just lost her new toy. But anyway, back to softball. 2-2 is the count. And here's the pitch. Oh, the dog might have another toy. Oh, they see it.
And it sees it.
Yep, new toy for the dog. Hey, you took away its first toy. Let him have. I don't want to say him or her because I don't know what.
If I'm Jenna Austin, I just let him keep it. Let him keep it as a souvenir of his first softball game.
And a base hit for Lauren Lester. Lester getting on base for the 2nd time this evening for the Tigers. As Erin Williams is at the plate for the Tigers. She's recorded a double in her previous at-bat. She's 1 of 2 on the day.
And the Tigers would sure want the heroics of Erin Williams to come out here.
You knew she regretted swinging there. That was way outside. She tried to pull it back the last second, but of course, that will be strike 1. Here's a pitch. That's going to be popped up, and that's going to go behind the concession stands.
Don't think the dog can see that one. Just a bit removed from where their location is.
Yeah, opposite side of the ballpark. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Williams, and that's strike 3 and out number 3 of the inning. So Ouachita has made this game interesting, trailing by just 2 runs as we head into the top of the 6th. Do not go anywhere. We have more Tiger softball here on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
Mom was always very self-sufficient, but we started noticing things were off.
I was forgetting my responsibilities at work.
I told Mom we should visit a doctor.
Alzheimer's. It was hard to hear that.
Early detection gave us time to seek information and support as a family. I've never felt more connected with Mom.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
And Ouachita trailing 5-3 here as at the top of the 6th. And usually this would be sign of concern for Coach Jackson and his crew, but their 3 runs were scored all in the bottom of the 5th. Now Maggie Huddleston has cleaned up her pitching from the first couple, or her first couple of innings. Of course, she came in relief of Carly Burrow. And so far today, Huddleston has only allowed 1 hit. Of course, it did end up being a run, as that's going to be a swing and a miss by Cassidy Morrow.
And Chris, I don't think a lot of fans realize how much those 3 runs could go into the momentum that this Tiger team really needs to win this game. And even if they can't come out of this game, those 3 runs are going to go a long way into giving the Tigers the belief that they can take down the top team in the GAC going into the 2 games tomorrow they have in this doubleheader tomorrow here at P.T. Langston Field.
Well, I think the fans here at P.T. Langston Field, they definitely know the impact that those 3 runs have, because it was a little quiet heading into the 5th inning, and now there's a little bit more of a buzz here in the ballpark. 2-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. And that won't stay fair, so she'll head back. So 2-2 is the count now. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be fouled again by Morrow.
Morrow staying alive in this battle versus Huddleston, and Huddleston in pursuit of her 2nd strikeout of the game.
Well, Cassidy Morrow, one of the several players on this Bison team. Of course, Arizona's not on the West Coast, as that one's popped straight up, but several players on this team are from California, Arizona, out west, and she's one of them. That's going to be out number 1 of the inning as Remington Adams records a put out there, and now batting is Sydney Adler. Well, Sydney is the sister of Emily Adler. She's going to let that one go down for strike number 1. Both Sydney and Emily are 5th-year seniors, originally from Rose Hill, Kansas, from Rose Hill High School, and from Butler Community College. And that's going to be popped in front of center. Oh, almost a grab by Province. Adler making her way to second. She gets there in time. But almost the play of the night by Caitlin Province, which is saying something considering Emily Reed had her first collegiate home run. But Province, I didn't think that she even had a chance to even dive for that, but she very close to recording the 2nd out of the inning.
It looks to me like Province gauged it just a bit further to her left than it actually went, and so as she ran to her left to try to grab it, it just barely passed to her right, and you could tell her reach back to her right, but with her momentum all going the other way, she was just unable to get on top of it there.
Here's the pitch. That's going to be popped again into the gap, and that time's going to be an out recorded in right field. It'll be Jordan Merritt picking up the put out for Ouachita. That'll be the 2nd out of the inning. Adler stays put at 2nd.
Great awareness by Merritt, too, to keep the runner on 2nd and keep them from going further into scoring position. And now with 2 outs, the Tigers have a bit of momentum going here.
1-0 is the count with Sammy Green at the plate. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be outside. That's going to be ball 2. Now, Green is a junior from Clovis, California, and an alum of Emmanuel High School. That's going to be high. That's going to be ball 2. Like I said, there are a lot of players on this Bison squad that are from out west. 3 players from California. And 1 player, Cassidy Morrow, from Arizona. And there's out number 3. Nice throw from Kennedy Wilkie to Lauren Lester at first, coming away with the 3rd out of the inning. Well, we're going to be heading into the bottom of the 6th. Let's see what Ouachita can do at the plate. You're watching Tiger Softball here on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Ouachita trailing 5-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. As it's going to be Remington Adams leading off the Tigers in the inning. Ouachita certainly made this game interesting after 3 runs recorded in the bottom of the 5th. After the Bison jumped out to an early 4-0 lead in the top of the 2nd, and then later added to their lead to make it 5-0. That's going to be high and outside. That's going to be ball 1.
And Chris, another interesting thing to look out for, Kaylee Jones in the circle right now for the Bison, just 3 strikeouts away from hitting the number 200 on the season.
And she gauged it wrong out in center field, and that's going to be a double for Remington Adams right away in the bottom of the 6th. That was Sammy Green trying to gauge it. It is getting darker, of course. It's going to make it harder for these fielders, regardless of the light or not, to be able to see that ball. And she just hesitated, thought it was going one way, and it obviously did not go the way that she had planned. So it ended up being a base hit for Remington Adams.
And Chris, just as I was talking about Kaylee Jones being 3 strikeouts away from the number 200, looks like the Bison are going to make a pitching change.
Yeah, it is Maggie Place, the team's 2nd best pitcher. She's definitely had some solid games so far this year, and she'll be finishing out, or possibly going to be finishing out, this ball game. So while Place continues to warm up, we'll take a very quick break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law. We have Tiger Softball here at Pete C. Langston Field, and a new pitcher for Oklahoma Baptist, that being Maggie Place, the freshman from Goldsby, Oklahoma, a graduate of Washington High School. Her first pitch is a strike. And we talked all night about how Kaylee Jones has been one of the best pitchers in the conference, and she is. She has not looked as sharp coming down towards the end of the game. And of course, that is why she ended up getting taken out after giving up a double to Remington Adams. But Maggie Place has still done extremely well on the year for Oklahoma Baptist. She's number 7 in the conference in ERA with a 2.33 ERA. As that one's going to be popped straight up, and that's going to be an easy out for Kennedy Clark coming over from first. But Place is number 10 in the conference, an opposing batting average just under 250, given up every game. She's tied for number 9 in strikeouts with 62. And she has the 4th most wins out of any pitcher in the conference. And of course, this is the number 1 team with one of the best pitching duos in the entire Great American Conference.
And Chris, now stepping up to the plate is Jordan Merritt. And you know, last time we saw Merritt out there, she was one of the 3 runs that came off that Emily Reed home run.
Yeah, that's a swing and a miss for strike 2 from Merritt. Well, Place has done such a great job for a team that is one of the best. Like I mentioned, they have one of the best pitching duos in the conference, but looking at their stats, they have the best pitching numbers in the conference. That's going to be strikeout number 1 on the night for Maggie Place. But looking at some of the pitching numbers for Oklahoma Baptist, they are number 1 in the conference in ERA. As a team, they average 2.1, and they're also number 1 in opposing batting average at about 21.2, and that one's going to be fair. Washita sends a runner home. That's Remington Adams. And a nice hit by Jordan Merritt, or excuse me, a nice hit by Riley Gillis.
And now, Chris, we're in a very interesting position now with Reed stepping back up to the plate after that great at-bat last time she was up. The Tigers are just down by 1 after being down 5-0 at one point in this game. And they have themselves a real chance with the tying run on base right now.
5-4 is your score as Reed is sitting with an 0-2 count now. Well, the last time Reed was at the plate, she did record a home run. A 3-run home run. But she is now sitting with an 0-2 count and 2 outs. That's going to be low and in the dirt. That's going to be ball 1.
And the Tigers have proven all night that when in the hole with 2 strikes, they've still found themselves out of it a bunch of times, which is why they're in this position now, because they've been able to battle back and find themselves in good positions.
Here's the pitch. And that's to second. But that will still be the 3rd out of the inning. So Washita, they do inch just a little bit closer to tying or taking the lead here at Pete C. Langston Field. Well, we'll take a quick timeout, so don't go anywhere. You're watching Tiger Softball on the Washita Sports Digital Network.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Washita trailing 5-4 here as we have entered the top of the 7th here at P.C. Langston Field. And what started as a game that just looked like it was going to be an Oklahoma Baptist victory, it's starting to look like this has the potential to, well, maybe go into extra innings. You never know, but Maggie Huddleston has done a nice job pitching for Ouachita ever since taking over for Carly Burrow.
And Chris, the Tigers have found themselves in this position many times this season, just in these first game of the series thrillers, like they had last weekend with the Harding loss. They battled with Harding on a Friday night and barely came out with the loss, but here they're battling Oklahoma Baptist in what looks to be another thriller here. 5-4. They still have a genuine chance to take down the top team in the conference tonight and put themselves in an advantage in this series.
One is the count. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be right down the middle for strike number 2.
And one small part and one big part of this game too has been the defense, keeping the Bison at five runs after their explosion earlier in the game. Huddleston's ability to keep the score the way it is has been vital to this team's success.
Over Lester's glove and trying to make it a double, and that's exactly what will happen. Adler is safe at second.
Looks to me like Adams just barely could not get a hold of the ball. Beautiful throw by right fielder Jordan Merritt, just unable to get to Adams at the right time, and it barely allows the Bison to inch into scoring position here in this final inning.
It was a bold move by the 5th-year senior to head from first to second. It certainly looked like it would have been a safe single, but her chances of getting out increased incredibly as she headed to second. Of course, it did pay off, and now we have Allie Ryan at the plate. Ryan is a sophomore from Frisco, Texas, and has been even though she's one of the younger players on this team, a team that features 4 5th-year seniors, she has been the best hitter on this Bison team, this first place team, as that one's going to be strike for Maddie Huddleston.
Beautiful hit, a beautiful strike for Huddleston as well. Getting it just in the bottom right corner there, making the batter think that it was going to go ball and just barely missed it, barely missed ball territory.
And that's going to be tipped, so 2-2 is the count.
And Huddleston, like her teammates have tonight, battling in this batting order. Now she has the advantage here. And now hopefully she's going to try to get a strikeout here and keep the Tigers and keep the Bison off the board in this inning.
Here's the pitch. That's going to be in the dirt. That's going to be ball 3. So we're sitting with a full count.
And with a full count, something has to give here. Either Huddleston throws a ball, or number 13, Allie Ryan, GAC Player of the Week, can make something happen here.
Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss! Strike out number 1 for Maggie Huddleston on the evening. Well, that will be just the first out of the inning,
and that surely is Huddleston's first strikeout of the inning. That is her second of the game, actually. Excuse me, that is her first. Something earlier was a bit of confusion.
Here's the pitch. And I think the Tiger crowd was waiting for the strike call. From our angle, certainly did look like it, but obviously our angle doesn't count. It's the home plate umpire's angle, and he called it ball 2.
But Chris, going back to that last strikeout for Huddleston, just a big play, keeping Allie Ryan off the base path in a vital situation here. Allie Ryan, the GAC Player of the Week, had a big weekend last weekend and has had a big season all year. One of the best hitters in the conference. Keeping her from making anything happen there and getting her to strike out on a swing. Just a big play for the senior pitcher and a big play for the team in general to try to keep themselves in this game in this final inning.
2-2 is the count. 1 out and 1 runner on second. Here's the pitch. That's going to be popped into left field. Can she get up under it? No, she can't. And what's the call? I think she's going to be safe there at third. It was a nice run by Adler going from second to third. It was a close call.
Wilkie just unable to get the tag on Adler there. Great throw by Reed. Great throw by Reed there to get it to Wilkie, but Adler just with the speed able to get to the base before Wilkie's able to get a hand on her.
And now coming in to pinch run for Oklahoma Baptist is Haley Stanford. Stanford, a sophomore from Wilburton, Oklahoma.
And now, Chris, the Tigers find themselves in the biggest situation of the game here, trying to keep the Bison from touching home plate with 1 out in the inning. Huddleston standing up there in the circle tall, has to keep her poise to keep the Bison from scoring themselves an insurance run here.
So Morgan Max was at first. She will head out and being replaced by Stanford. That will be recorded as a strike, so 1-1 is the count with 1 out. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, that's going to be ball 2. As it's gotten later, it's gotten cooler, and the mosquitoes starting to come on out here.
Chris, I had to put my sweatshirt on. It started to get a bit cold here.
Lester tagging her out. That's going to be out number 2, but Adler does find her way home. So Oklahoma Baptist does increase their lead to 6.
And it's a bit of an awkward situation. It was a bit of an awkward situation there for Lauren Lester because she couldn't just ignore the runner that was running right at her to get that tag. But at the same time, she also needed to make a play at home there. So it's smart play by Lester to at least get the out. But with 1 out still to go in this inning, it's very difficult to watch as the score is run up just 1 more, keeping the Tigers just a bit further away than they wanted to from taking the lead or tying in this final frame.
And I will correct what I had just said. The lead is 2, and Oklahoma Baptist has 6 runs on the board. That is what I meant. So 6-4 is still your score. And 2-0 is the count with 2 outs.
And then with a runner on third, the Tigers, more than anything, need to keep it here. Bit of a, as we get some paydays thrown at us.
Yeah, Ace Collins, a legendary writer and a good friend of, well, really everybody at Ouachita, just threw some payday bars at me, and if you heard a knock, it's because he made contact with, I couldn't see the payday bar. That's straight up, and that's going to be out number 3 of the inning. But anyway, Ouachita trailing 2 by 2 runs. 6-4 is your score as we head into the bottom of the 7th. Can Ouachita tie or take the lead? We will see. You're watching Tiger Softball here on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law. 6-4 is your score here. The bottom of the 7th at PC Langston Field on the campus of Ouachita Baptist University. It is the Ouachita Tigers taking on the Oklahoma Baptist Bison. It is a matchup between the top team in the Great American Conference and the 12th team in the Great American Conference. And though Ouachita is in the bottom of the conference standings, they don't look like it here. They have really fought all night long, and thanks to a great 5th inning, they have come right back into this ball game. They just trail by 2. So Marley Huddleston's going to lead off for Ouachita. This is Huddleston. Marley Huddleston, that is, her first appearance on the night. Her sister is Maggie Huddleston, who is closing for Ouachita tonight.
Bit of an interesting decision here. Aaron Williams being taken out of the batting lineup. Aaron Williams has been a highlight hitter for the Tigers this season, and Huddleston's going to take her place as a pinch hitter.
It is definitely an interesting move. And that's going to be a strikeout. So Huddleston will head back to the dugout, and actually, no, that won't be Aaron Williams out of the lineup. That was our mistake. This is going to be Kaylin Province at the batting now.
She was taking the place of Kennedy Wilkie. Yep. Excuse us.
Yeah, that's our mistake. But so we're back to the top of the order for Ouachita. It just looked like Remington Adams was on deck. I couldn't see the 4. It looked like a 1. And usually Adams comes after Aaron Williams, so it just made sense. Well, it didn't make sense. Why would you take out your best runner in the most critical part of the game? Of course, that didn't, or your best batter, of course, that didn't occur. So regardless, 0-1 is the count with 1 out.
And Province hoping to channel her success from Thursday. Like we were talking about earlier, Province went 2 for 2 on the game and getting walked once. Just hoping to get something going in this inning so that the Tigers can make a comeback attempt here.
And it's right down the middle. That's going to be strike number 2. She'll make contact. Heading to first. Nobody's there. Gets past. Wow. Kaylin Province heads to base thanks to an error from Oklahoma Baptist. What a blunder by the Bison infield.
And now Province finds herself on the base paths with Lauren Lester up to bat. And now Lester has a chance, at least a small one at that, but still a chance to tie this one up here in the rare situation of a home run.
Hey, anything is possible. She does. It sounded like she made contact. Regardless, it's strike number 1. Lauren Lester has already had 2 hits this evening. And here's the pitch. Ooh, that's going to be low, and well, that will be strike number 2. 0-2 is the count with 1 out.
Lester hoping to battle back here, but like we've seen all night, the Tigers have battled back from these situations. And what a time to do it than in the final deciding inning of the game.
That's going to be low again, and that's going to be ball 1. Aaron Williams on deck for the Tigers. So 1-2 is the count, 1 out, and Caitlin Province on first for Ouachita. Here's the pitch. She does make contact, so she stays alive here. Lester is 2 of 3 at the plate today. Campos just having a quick word with her pitcher. Of course, it is Maggie Price who took the place of Kaylee Jones. Or excuse me, not Price, but Place. Taking the place of, no pun intended, of Kaylee Jones. And that's going to be out number 2 of the inning. So it's getting closer and closer to the end of the ball game. And Erin Williams, Ouachitá's best hitter, heads to the plate with 1 runner on first.
And Williams hoping to do what she did Thursday night, and that is hit home runs, Chris. And Erin Williams on the season leads the Tigers in home runs with 7, hoping to get number 8 right here. And what a time it would be to get it, especially in a situation where the Tigers down just 2 runs to the best team in the conference. We have ourselves an interesting situation and an exciting one at that, going into what is the final out of the inning. Chris, there's nothing better than this in GAC softball.
Oh, there's definitely not. I mean, hey, special teams, special plays, and special players. That is what we are seeing here tonight at Langston Field on the campus of Ouachita Baptist University, as Ouachita trails by 2 runs, 2 outs on the board. Erin Williams at the plate.
Hoping to channel Tuesday as she steps up.
One 0 is the count. 2 outs on the board. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside again. The count for Erin Williams. That's going to be outside again. That's going to be ball 3.
And with Province on the base paths too, you see her inching off a little bit. She is the second best statistical base runner of the season for the Tigers. She's 5 for 8 on the stolen base attempts this season, hoping to get number 6 on the season.
And Williams, can imagine that was pretty much intentional. I definitely would have walked her too. I mean, she is statistically the best hitter for Ouachita. So now runners on first and second for the Tigers as Remington Adams is at the plate for the Tigers.
But Chris, with that walk, Place has now put the winning or the tying run on base with Remington Adams, who in herself is the statistical second best hitter on this team at bat. It's a dangerous situation to put herself in.
Sure.
And now the Tigers have a chance to make something happen here with Province sitting in scoring position on second base.
Adams is one of 3 on the day. That's going to be fouled, and almost a great grab by a lucky fan. I think that may be an Oklahoma Baptist fan. I can't tell. Oh, no, that's a Ouachita fan. They're just on the wrong side. There's kind of an unofficial side for the visiting team to sit on. But, of course, the fans do tend to fill up here at P.T. Langston Field.
Place.
That's going to be low and in the dirt. That's going to be ball 1.
In Place with 1 strike to go. If she can record this final strike of the game, she can get herself a save here in this game.
Place looking for her 13th win of the year. 1-2 is the count. 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and that's popped up. And no! And that's going to be caught out in left field by Asia Shirey out in left field for the Bison. And wow, that was very close. That looked like for a moment it seemed like every Tiger fan would have erupted. It was very close to getting up over that wall. But Shirey breaking the hearts of every Tiger fan here in attendance today, but that's all right. Ouachita loses 6-4 here at home, but they have a chance to both even and win the series here at home tomorrow So stay tuned. Tomorrow we have a doubleheader starting at noon, and then later at 2 o'clock I will be back as your play-by-play announcer. And Isaac, I believe you're going to be back doing color. Is that right?
Yes, I'll be back for color in the first tomorrow.
But you'll do play-by-play for that 2 o'clock game.
And Chris, just going back to that play, I think what all fans are seeing here is just the development of this softball team, of this Tiger softball team throughout the season. Like we've been talking about, they are just there. They are almost there on the peak of making noise in the GAC. And as you saw there, Remington Adams just a couple feet from hitting the walk-off home run. And this Tiger team is almost there. And with just a little bit more improvement on this season and just a couple more pieces to go with that, I think you and I both are in agreement here that this Tiger team has the ability to make something special here in Arkadelphia, Arkansas on the softball diamond.
They exactly do. There's a lot of potential in Coach Jackson's crew, and look, they have a chance to show out against the #1 team in the conference tomorrow. So again, tune in tomorrow afternoon for the 12 o'clock game here at home, and then also for the 2 o'clock game. We'll see what Ouachita can do against the visiting Bison squad of Oklahoma Baptist. Well, this has been the Ouachita Sports Digital Network presented by Taylor King Law. I'm Chris Gay. This is Isaac Bourne. From everyone here at OSDN, thank you so much for tuning in. Be safe out there, and go Tigers.
I'm Nicole Auerbach from The Athletic.
Hey, this is Alex Pruitt with Sports Illustrated Magazine.
This is Kevin Kugler of Westwood One.
Hi, everybody. It's Pete Craddock of the Memphis Grizzlies and Fox Sports Southeast.
This is Danielle Musselman.
This is Kyle Peterson with ESPN.
This is Tom Hart of ESPN and the SEC Network. Thanks for tuning in to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.